can see water pouring out of the bottom of this here. Hey, thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. It's good to see you. So as I mentioned, this is the DRC monster truck. It is a 200E. So let's just go through some of the specs that the manufacturer states on this. And then of course, we're gonna go through and give it a drive. But first, it says in the specs that it's a 1/10 scale model. Now, I'm not so sure. I think it's probably more like a 1/12 scale, just looking at the size of it here. And they do say it's a hobby grade RC car. Now, it also says that the top speed is about 37 miles an hour. I don't know about that. I'm guessing, I did just run it around a little bit. I'm guessing it's gonna be a lot less than that. I'm not sure why they do that kind of stuff. I think it's similar to when they do a drone and they say it can go 5 miles and you take it out and test it and you get about a half a mile and it starts losing reception. And there's all kinds of excuses why it doesn't do what they say. But I think that's one of those specs they put on paper and they don't really have to prove. So nowadays with most things that are electric, whether it's a chainsaw or a drill, you'll notice they'll sell you something that's called body only, and you get home and go, why the heck would you sell me this without a battery in it? Well, of course, that's their way of getting their money for the base, and then they get money for each battery you want to buy as well. I was just looking at a Home Depot, and they had a chainsaw there, and the chainsaw itself was like $150. But each battery was close to $200 each. So it is really good that they did include 2 batteries with this. That is kind of really nice for the price, and we'll talk about that price a little later. So it does have some really beefy, nice air tires in it that you can see here as well. And it does come with headlights built in, little LED lights. And again, that's pretty uncommon too. You usually don't have the lights like that unless you add some aftermarket kit. You also notice it comes with this cool purple body here. That's pretty slick, but of course, if you have a preference for another color, it comes with another body underneath it here. You can swap these out. Again, coming with 2 bodies is a pretty good thing. It really is. I kind of prefer the orange. I'm not exactly sure why. And you'll notice that it comes with this nice airfoil that's on the back. It comes in the kit. We added that on as well. And of course, you want that to keep the body on the ground. If we don't have that, the thing probably will go airborne. And of course, then we got to worry about that remote ID module and of course all those pesky FAA regulations. So we certainly want to keep that so it doesn't go airborne. And of course, anytime we get a new car, we're just going to want to look under the hood and see what's under there before we go drive. What do you mean you don't look under the hood?
I don't look under the hood.
Ever? When you buy a car?
No, never.
So we're just going to go through a few things here. Don't worry, I'm not going to geek out too much. We're just going to brush over the high points so you can kind of see the quality that we're talking about here. So first thing underneath here, we do have a 45 amp brushless ESC, which is kind of nice in this kind of a model. And as I did mention, we do get 2 batteries that come with this, one that's in here and one that's in the case. They're supposed to provide up to 40 minutes of drive time. Now again, I don't know if that means 20 minutes on each battery or if that's 40 minutes each. We'll see, we'll take it around and see what it does. Also, it does have a brushless motor here, which is really nice, and we're going to go ahead and take the sticker off of here as well to let those heat fins work a little better. Now, it does say that there's oil-filled shocks here, but when I'm kind of pushing on these, they're pretty springy, so I'm not so sure. I did pull these apart to look, and there's grease in there. So I think they probably at one time did have oil filled, and maybe we could fill them up with oil. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to let it bounce a little bit. We're going to go through some areas that are a little flatter. So if we look really close, we do see in here that there is a steel drive shaft running the length of this. It is four-wheel drive, so that's why the drive shaft is all the way through, of course. And if we look in here, we also see that there is steel CV joints as well. And again, in a hobby grade, that's really nice. So those are some of the components we think will break or strip out. So that's nice. Now looking underneath here, it is an all plastic body, but it does have this little metal plate here, kind of a skid plate. So that's nice because if you go and run into something kind of full speed, whether you mean to or not, this is probably going to be the first place that's going to break. So they've reinforced this. So there's been some thought into this. And then of course, lastly, we have to have a remote to control it. That feels pretty substantial. I mean, it's kind of light, but it is a 2.4 gigahertz control. So we should get some distance out of it. In the specs, it says we get about 262 feet range. So again, we'll try it here and just see how it does. It does need 3 AA batteries in the bottom, so it is not rechargeable that way. And on the remote then, it does have a speed switch, which I would argue is a dial or a knob, not a switch. But that is so if you have a kid or somebody you want to start out, or yourself even, a little bit lower in speed, you can turn that down. It's a little governor on there, so you can turn that down or turn it all the way up to get the maximum speed. It also does have a steering trim as well, so that when you're going straight, hopefully when you release the steering wheel here, that it will stay straight. It won't be fighting you the whole time. Without further ado, let's just go have some fun with this. So to turn on the power of this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in the battery, which I already did. And then there's a button right here that we're going to go ahead and push for a second and start it up. There we go. We can hear a beep. Let's go ahead and put that back on. Now the body does clip on with these dandy little clips. So we got these little clips here that are kind of nice. They have a little pull tab on them, so they're kind of nice little clips here. We'll go ahead and put those back on. So let's just go ahead and see what it does. Okay, now this is in the slowest speed. I'm going to trim this just a little here. And we're going to turn up the speed here. Ooh, that's better. Ooh, that's much better. It's pretty fast, but I still don't think it's that 37 miles that they were talking about. Maybe half of that, but that's probably because of that 2S or 3S battery, but still it is pretty spunky. So go ahead, we're going to take it into grass here a little bit and see what it does in some of this grass. Say that grass was just a little bit much for it. So that was a lot of fun, I gotta say. Now, I don't even know how much is left. I still only have the single battery in here, so it's been going this whole time that I've been testing it out. But let's go into an area that's maybe a little more bumpy, some trees, things like that. Maybe some water splash around a little bit just to give it a little different atmosphere. Then, of course, we're gonna come back. We're gonna show you what's in the box because, of course, it comes with a lot of extra stuff, spare parts, all kinds of stuff. So not gonna wanna miss that. So let's go. Okay, so here we are in a little more wooded area. Give us a little more rugged terrain to give it a try. We're already powered up here. We're gonna go back and forth and see how it does, kind of in a crawl through this tough wooded area here. So let's do it. All right, so there was our test in a little more aggressive area. Twigs, logs, rocks, water, things like that. And I think it did a pretty good job. Hopefully some of the footage turns out in here. You can see water pouring out of the bottom of this here. So it still is working. We haven't had any problem with it doing its thing. And this is still the first battery. I haven't changed out the battery from the initial one. So that's a lot of life. And it seems to be pretty robust. I didn't break anything that I'm aware of. You can see that it's full of a lot of twigs and water and things like that. So I think overall, this is a pretty robust, there's more water coming out of it. Overall, this is a pretty robust monster truck here from DRC. I think I have bug repellent on because out here there's a lot of mosquitoes. I know there's a lot of you who won't understand being overrun by mosquitoes, but in this wooded area with a creek running through here, a lot of mosquitoes. So I hope you guys appreciate that I'm getting attacked by insects while I'm doing this review. That being said, I think it is a pretty decent buy for, I think it's on sale for $160 with everything included. So I think it's pretty decent. I'm going to go show you what's in the box here just so you can see all the things that come with it. So let's do that quick. So in the box, you get the monster truck with the removable body and an extra body. You get a manual, which is really great because it shows breakdown of parts that you might need. Shows you a really good detail there. Comes with 2 batteries and chargers and the 2.4 gigahertz remote. And then look at all the extra parts that they give you in the box here. They also give you little spear gears and other gears, tools, little tie rods here, extra ones. So pretty much little extra clips. Everything you can think of that might break, they included in the kit. So that is a really complete kit for what you get for the price. So my final words, I think this is a heck of a deal for $160. Now, I don't have a lot of experience with a lot of other RC manufacturers, but it was a lot of fun. It seemed to do exactly what it was supposed to do. It took a lot of beating through a lot of junky terrain here, dumped it upside down in the water a couple times. So I think it's a lot of fun. I think the speed is probably adequate for somebody like myself who is not looking to break a speed record, but just have some fun with it. So I think it's a pretty fun product. If something like this is of interest for you or maybe some kids in your future, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Really, I don't. And just full disclosure, I was not paid or this video is not sponsored by DRC. So all the opinions are my own and nobody got to see this video or approve it before it was published. So you can be assured that it is my truthful opinion. So I hope you guys did enjoy our little virtual monster truck here. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I appreciate you staying this long into the video, of course, and if you did find anything of use or something maybe you didn't know before, always appreciate that like. Just lets us creators know we're doing something that's of interest. With that, until next time and next video, good flying or driving.